64% of black children, 40% of white kids don't know how. It's dangerous. According to a national study by the U.S. Swimming Foundation, it can be very serious and life-threatening. Our next guest is the Director of Innovative Priorities at the YMCA of the USA, and Lindsay Mondick is here to tell us about aquatic safety. Good morning and welcome to BNC, Lindsay. This is such an important thing, and I feel like we've been talking about it forever, but not much has changed. So do tell us, the CDC finds that black children are 3 times more likely to drown than other groups. You do have some safety tips for us. What's rule number 1?
Yeah, rule number 1 is children always need supervision and active supervision. We know that 88% of drownings happen when there is some form of supervision, right? So that supervision has to be constant and it has to be vigilant. It has to be, you need to designate a water watcher anytime any child is near the pool, and you also need to teach them that they need to ask permission before going near the water.
Yeah, you got to check on them too. I was just telling a story about what happened in our pool last week as well when the parent wasn't properly supervising the child. But so what do you tell kids? Because, you know, they're rambunctious. They want to get in the water. They'll say things like, hey, Mom, it's just shallow water. I don't need the supervision. I'll be fine.
Right. I mean, we want kids to have fun in the water, right? That's the whole point of swimming lessons, right? So I say, go get some swimming lessons, learn how to swim. Swimming lessons can reduce the risk of drowning by up to 88%, which is a giant, right? That's a lot of resiliency that we can build just by giving them simple swim skills. As it relates to behavior, right? We want kids to know that safe pools and safe waterfronts have rules. So we do need to make sure that we're following the rules of the waterfront and enjoying the water safely.
I remember my daughter wasn't even a year old, and I enrolled her in this swim school where we were in St. Louis. How early should kids learn how to swim?
Yeah, so at the Y, we start teaching kids as early as 6 months. Once they have head control, we want to get them into the water. They're not necessarily learning, how to float and all of that quite yet, but it's really important to get them acclimated so that they're ready for future learning. And it's never too late to learn to swim. We know that if an adult doesn't know how to swim, there's only a 13% chance that their child will learn how to swim. So really, we need to make sure that everybody understands that it's really important to learn to swim, not only to enjoy the summer and enjoy the pool and the water, but also to keep that legacy for your children so that they can be safe in and around water.
Yeah, you definitely want that, and you want to be able to protect them if they do find themselves in trouble as an adult. But, you know, as you get older, is it tougher to learn how to swim? Because you do have learned behaviors after a while. You know what could happen to you, and, you know, if some water gets in your lungs, whatnot. Kids, once again, fearless. Sometimes they want to get in the pool. They seem like they want to have fun. As an adult, you have these fears that continue to build over a period of time. So is it harder to learn how to swim as you get older, the older you get?
You know, I think you nailed it. When we're teaching adults at the Y, we know that there's a mental and psychological aspect that we have to deal with in addition to teaching the skills themselves, right? The motor movements. And so that's a huge part of learning to swim is getting confidence and gaining comfort and gaining control. Because once you have that control in a safe environment, you have more confidence to be able to do things further and faster, right?
What about, Lindsay, the tip that comes into play when there's the water safety? What do we need to know specifically? Because there's different bodies of water. There's the pool, there's lakes, there's undercurrents that have, you know, different issues that are also important and very dangerous.
Right. So at the Y, we teach a couple really key skills that we want everybody to have. One of them is called jump, push, turn, and grab. So that idea that if you were to fall into the water, being able to push yourself or get yourself up to the surface of the water, turn to safety, and then make your way to safety, right? The second one we call swim, float, swim. So that idea that if you were in the middle of the water, you could swim, roll onto your back to get a couple really great breaths, and then return to your front and continue swimming out of the water. Another one is treading water. So that idea of keeping yourself at the surface so that you can keep your breath, right? And do it with little energy and activity and to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, swimming in the pool is much different than swimming in a lake or in the ocean, as you know. But
Right.
I want to go back to like learning once again as an adult. Well, now, how do you overcome that fear? Because there is a fear. Like I've seen adults get in the water, and as soon as you put your head under, it starts. It seems like they're drowning even in 5 feet of water, and they could be 6 feet tall. So how do you overcome that fear? How do you get your students to overcome that fear?
Yeah, so I've been teaching swimming lessons for 25 years, and adults are one of my favorites. Really, it's small steps for those people who are fearful, and getting an instructor who has that understanding to work with somebody who is fearful, and that it's small incremental steps to get you where you need to be. So the first day might only be getting your feet wet or sitting on the side of the pool, blowing bubbles, getting your face wet. These are huge things that lead up to those skills that I mentioned earlier. And so really just persistence, trying little by little and continuing to work through kind of those barriers that psychologically we sometimes encounter.
Yep. So you're at the YMCA, of course, but where can people go to get more information on how to learn how to swim?
Yeah, so you can contact your local YMCA for more. We actually have a free water safety program this summer called Safety Around Water, which is for kids 5 to 14. So reach out to your local YMCA to find out how you can take those free swimming lessons. You can also find more at ymca.net/water safety.
All right, I'm gonna get my
Oh, that's so
floaties.
cute,
I'm gonna get
looking
my
at him in the
little
pool.
stick. Yeah, a little float stick. I'm gonna get my little face shield, get my everything. I'm gonna be ready to go for the summertime. Lindsay Mondick, Director of Innovative Priorities at the YMCA of the USA. Great information. Thank you for starting your day with us this morning.